Oh, the intro didn't put on.
Off to a good start. Welcome, everyone, to a special episode of Rangers Ed, presented by Lucarelli Law. If you're in Florida and you need a lawyer, call Lucarelli Law. Tell them the boys at Rangers Ed sent you. This is your host, Cousin Adam, here with Little Ed, PJ, Mikey P. Coach Ed will be joining us in a few minutes. So we got the whole gang here. Talk a little Four Nations. It's been a fun tournament, I think. Surprising to some people. I think there were a lot of folks who were ready to tune out from this tournament and really just wanted to keep the season going. But this has been unbelievable hockey, and we had to come on and talk about it. It's just been really fun to watch. I don't know, boys. I've watched every game today. I had it on the background, so I didn't get to really watch too closely with Canada and Finland, but pretty much every game I've watched, and it's been unbelievable hockey, Little Ed. I mean, you got to agree. We got to agree on something. You're muted, bud. As usual, Little Ed controls his mic very well.
Battling the flu over here, so I was coughing a little bit. So
you and Mika.
Yeah, I guess so. Except I wouldn't be afraid to play Team USA like Mika probably is, but that's besides the point. What was the question?
Well, hold on. Before we get into that,
the hockey's been great.
We'd much rather have the All-Star game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
The All-Star game is way better than this.
I don't understand the people that were saying that this wasn't going to be good hockey or was going to be like an exhibition type style hockey. That's odd to me because they haven't done this in a long time and they came out flying every team.
Well, I mean, PJ, I think the idea that this would be exhibition hockey wasn't necessarily crazy before the tournament because it's middle of the season. It's not the Olympics. It's not a World Cup. How are the players going to react? I think that was an open question, but the players have answered that with when they put their country sweater on, they care. I mean, it's pretty evident. All of them.
Yeah, seriously. I think everyone was apprehensive, right? Because it was like, it's not really a World Cup. It's not the Olympics. It's not every team. But, I mean, it was from the opening puck drop of that Canada-Sweden game. It was electric and fast, and it was like playoff style. No one's passing up hits. It's must watch. And, boy, did the NHL nail it with the timing of everything.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, Coach, you joined us. What's up, buddy?
How's everybody doing?
Everyone's great, man. We were just waiting for you,
Sorry about that, folks.
It's okay, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere is great. I don't think you could expect anything less. Like PJ said, when you represent your country, especially when they're playing in Canada, the Canadian fans are definitely on top of everything. They're excited, and they when it comes to hockey, pretty much hate other countries. So they were ready, and the other teams are ready. There was a lot of physicality. I didn't expect so much physicality, but it was electric.
Yeah, Mikey, how's it been? With the Rangers, we have mostly Americans. We're rooting for Team USA. Not a single Canadian is a Ranger in this tournament. So for you got Marchand on Canada and McAvoy on USA. Who else? Boston have anyone else in? I'm not sure, but
Swayman's on Team USA, but he's not going to sniff the ice.
So you're rooting for USA, right? You got the USA hat on. But you're rooting against Marchand. Yeah.
But he lives in Canada. He's dual citizen, I would imagine, at this point.
Yeah, I'm almost a Canadian citizen. I'm a permanent resident, but for all intents, I am Canadian. So it's weird because, I grew up an American, so my first instinct is always USA, But
of course,
yeah. So I mean, I guess I am Team USA for sure. But
you're rooting against Marchand. I mean, you got the Marchand jersey right behind you. You see him on Canada. Yeah. He gets the puck. Are you rooting for someone to hit him? How are you reacting to that?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I always want Marchand to succeed. I've been in his corner since day one. But I mean, ultimately, if it came down to it, I mean, go USA, whatever it takes. If it takes putting Marshawn through the boards, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, you just don't. You obviously root against injuries occurring in a tournament.
Yeah,
like this.
100%. A nice clean hit through the boards. Yeah.
It's been fun though. So we're gonna preview the final. It's USA Canada as expected. Sweden and Finland both played well and showed some gumption, but it will be USA Canada. We will get into that later in the episode. Let's start off though with some jersey profiles sponsored by the Blue Line Blue Shirts. So Blue Line Blue Shirts is an Instagram page at the Blue Line Blue Shirts, an original listener of this podcast and a true friend of the show. Head on over to Instagram, check his page out. You'll see his Ranger room. You'll see his jerseys, his memorabilia. It's really awesome. So thank you to Mark and at the Blue Line Blue Shirts. So you can see there the 4 jerseys, guys. So we're going to go down the line here, rapid fire. Which one is your favorite jersey of the 4 styles here? Let's start with PJ at the top of the screen there. For those of you on YouTube, PJ, we'll go right down the list.
It's hard. I think every country nailed it, but rapid fire, I'm going Sweden. It's just classic. Love the colors.
Yeah. Little Ed. You're on mute again, Little Ed. You keep muting because you're sick, but you got to remember to unmute.
I'm just going to cough in everyone's face for the rest of the show instead. I'm going Sweden as well because of the Triple Crown is just a classic jersey, I think. But like if you can't really tell from far away, but like if you look closely at the jersey, like the fine details and like the numbers and like the crowns itself or whatever, I think that's what really did it for me. Sweden is just a beautiful jersey. I'm very disappointed with Team USA, to be honest.
I like Sweden's jersey. I like USA's. It's simple. I like the simple look, but I got to go with Canada's. I mean, I love the stripes through the middle. It's very old school, like 1918 hockey. I feel like,
I like the off-white too of Canada.
Yeah, I love that with the black outline of the leaf. That's a really nice jersey, I got to say. So I'm going Team Canada. Mikey P, who you got?
I'm on board with you with Canada. And that jersey also, so the 2 white stripes through the middle, that red bar through the center, that's got little maple leaves inlaid into it if you look really closely at the jersey. It's unbelievable. Really? Yeah, it's an unbelievable sweater.
Well, I did not.
USA's got some USA's got something like that in their stripes too. But the thing I didn't like about USA is like they tried to make the letters look 3D, but they're not actually 3D. So that's that was kind of cheesy to me. I think they could have done better. I think they should stick with the logo that they have on the pants, like that crest, or that one. Go back to that one as well. The shirt that Cousin Ed's wearing, or this one was cool that they wore at the World Cup. Just something like, because like all the other teams, like all the other countries, kind of just like have a logo and they just stick to it and just make like kind of like minor changes, like Canada. Like USA is constantly just like changing the way they just write USA. I don't know.
All right, Coach.
With like a gold crest.
Coach, no USA votes yet. Are you going USA or what are you doing here?
Well, I like the Canadian jersey. I always love the maple leaf. I don't like that Finland jersey. I don't like that the way they have. I don't know how you say that.
Swami.
I'm not going to put.
I'm not a fan of their crest and their having that on the front. But I'm staying with USA. I like the way they added that gray into it to make that 3D look. I like the way it matches with the uniform and the socks, and it's. I like it. I like the colors.
Well, in Finnish, Suomi means Finland.
Yeah.
So it's the Finnish way of saying Finland, Coach. If you're saying,
I understand that. It doesn't mean I have to be a fan of the jersey. I'm not a fan.
I don't understand that. Then why don't we just call it that?
Why don't we just call it Suomi from now on?
No one other than people who live in. No one other than people who are Finnish understand that.
Like you can't. You don't get to pick what like it says on the map, like how like what you want to like Czechia is saying they want to be called Czechia, like everyone's able to pronounce that.
I mean, the way things are going these days, people are just choosing whatever they want for everything. So it's like from now on, I'm calling them Suomi, and people from there are Swomish. and that's the end of it.
and that's the end of it.
I will say the coolest part though is that they all had one jersey because the color matchups are sick. I love that no one has a white and a blue or a white and a red. It's everyone. They just want the red and blue for USA Canada is great. The red, everything looks great on TV.
Well, they could totally do that as long as the colors aren't the same, right? Like you can't really have like a light blue against a dark blue, but you could do red against blue or yellow against red. I mean, you could totally do that.
Well, they
We'll
can
see
let
if the
Czechia
league
in.
does it.
What was
They can
that
wear their
tweet that you
whites.
sent us in the group chat, PJ?
Say that one more time, Will.
What was that tweet that you sent us in the group chat about the possibility of that happening? In the
Yeah,
NHL?
so there was a report out from I think Stephen Ellis for the Daily Face-Off that they may switch in the new CBA, so it won't be next season, but the season after, where they might go back to the white jerseys at home. Road team wears their color, which is kind of nice. So when you're always going to the home game, it's nice seeing the other team's colors. And he didn't really specify if that's the case, but there's a chance maybe that they do that where they will have color matchups. So maybe it's like the Red Wings wear their red versus the Rangers blue. I think that would look awesome.
Yeah, I think they could totally do that, man. By the way, I want you to guess who's on the back of this shirt.
Leach.
Delzato.
What?
Oh, I nailed it.
Nailed it. First try. PJ is like, USA, Leach. Done. Good job, PJ.
Arguably the best USA player ever.
He's up there. All right. So let's get into the tournament a little bit, guys. Let's jump right into this. So coming into tonight's game, USA Canada is the final. Canada beat Finland in regulation earlier this morning. So they and USA clinched no matter what Sweden does tonight. If USA loses, doesn't matter. But, we got some things to cover. So let's keep this Rangers centric as much as possible. And let's talk about Mika Zibanejad with Sweden. I wanted to bring this up. I don't know how much of the Sweden games you guys watched. But did anybody see Zibanejad in overtime get robbed and then Sweden lose the game? Did anybody else notice that?
It was on brand.
You said it.
Did anybody else notice this? It just gave me like I don't want to say PTSD because that's really strong. That's
Deja
that's
vu.
Yeah, like not more than deja vu, but less than PTSD. Like in there, there's like a middle feeling. Where when it happened, I was just like how many times has Zibanejad had a chance in overtime for the Rangers this year and not scored? And then he does it for Sweden also. And you're just sitting there like, is this guy? My hope for Zibanejad in this tournament was that he would leave it with some confidence. He's not playing tonight. He's got the flu. So, PJ, did Zibanejad get that confidence, you think? He scored a goal. He did score. So, I mean, did he get that confidence?
I think a little bit. I mean, he played, I thought the second game when he scored versus Sweden, that was his best game. I mean, he had, I think, 6 shots on goal. He had if you look at overtime, that first shift, after he doesn't score, he comes back and he has a great back check and puts someone on the ice. I've never seen him do that in a long time. So that was good. So he started out very tentative against Canada, but got a little better as the game went on, got a little more dangerous. But I totally think I can't say he lost confidence. That's for sure. So that's a good thing.
Does anybody notice? I think I might have brought this up on an episode last year or maybe earlier this year. He always reaches out to find the boards with his hand. Like he gets rid of the puck and he reaches out and he's like getting ready to get hit almost.
No.
Next time Zibanejad plays, watch. It happens constantly. And it drives me crazy. He's constantly getting rid of the puck a second too early, especially in these games because he's petrified of getting hit. And he reaches out to find the boards to see how far away from the boards he is. And then he kind of he does a little tuck to brace himself for the hit, which I understand. You're supposed to brace yourself for the hit, but it's way too early. And he's definitely flinching in these games.
Well, speaking of
No
Mika,
shocker here. I was going to be
Kreider on the
Brent just
board.
scored,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Was that
Look at
Kreider or
Kreider.
Larkin? Oh, Kreider, yeah.
Kreider for
Let's go.
USA. I love
that.
he's back home in Boston. He's got to be fired up.
I really wish Zibanejad was playing tonight, dude. Oh
No,
man,
that was
That
still
was sick,
Zibanejad's
but-
fault somehow.
They're saying he's sick or he is an injury.
That's such a Kreider goal
Sick
too.
little lad.
He's sick.
He has the flu. Apparently, the flu has been going around. Like Raquel's not playing, and Allmark was supposed to start, and he was sick also. In addition, Gustafsson apparently left the game sick last game.
Well, like
It
once
must be pretty
Sweden,
bad.
once Sweden got eliminated,
It's a
I
meaningless
think
game.
yeah, it's meaningless. So I think anyone who is sick is just out. That's the way it is. So.
Yep.
But still, Mika against Kreider would have been fun. We'll have to wait for that, I guess, to the Olympics. But anyway, Kreider on the board. That's
Kreider's
exciting.
not going to make Team USA,
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he'll be too old
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
for next year. You don't think so? Probably
Mika
not.
might not make it either at this rate.
No, Mika will definitely make Sweden. I think that's in the bag.
He was playing top everything for them. He was getting most ice time, top center, PK. I mean, they
Yeah,
definitely see something.
they lack the depth of USA. You're probably right about Kreider though. Anyway,
By then, Kreider will be replaced, I would imagine.
well, I mean, not to change topics, but can this jumpstart Kreider a little bit, considering he got a goal right quick? I mean, that could be a good thing, you know. I mean, you just out of these tournaments, you just want guys to be healthy, right? And to come out with they're playing best on best, like you said, Little Ed. This is best on best, right? So, what's your assessment of Zibanejad against the best? Since you talked about the boards and him reaching out, I could tell.
Basically what I just said. I mean, you could tell he's a smart. He has a strong hockey IQ. It's just in these games. I mean, we'll talk about other players later. It's just in these games. It seems like there's a lot of like Zibanejad just doesn't excel at when the game gets physical like this, and when the speed is just like for some reason he has the speed. He just doesn't want to really use it. Or he's not really just like giving 100% to me. It looked like, but like he's always in position. You know, that's what you kind of got to give him. He's always in position. But then, like I said, with the physicality and when the going gets tough, it's just not his game. I don't think. You know, and I guess Sweden in general doesn't really have a lot of like bruisers or like tough guys that are going to match Canada and Team USA's like strength or whatever or physicality. So, like, he doesn't even have that, like, on his line, you know, that's going to, like, not protect him, but then, like, be the forechecker. So, like, if it's not him or whatever, you know, like, it's hard to protect him when he has nobody.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Coach, did you get a chance to watch Zibanejad in any of the Sweden games? Do you think he's played well? Do you think
I thought in that Canadian game he played well. I think I texted in that I thought he was going to get the game winner. I just don't understand. To me, he made one big mistake in that overtime. For some reason, he came down the wall and he took a slap shot to give up possession from like the blue line. I'm like, what is he doing? And then Canada turns and gets possession. I don't know if that's what led to the goal or not. I don't really remember the sequence, but you don't give Canada the possession anytime when you can help it. And he just like was a 1-on-3, just fires it.
By the way, hearing you analyze that right now, props to you. Last night I checked into the Stony Brook game a little bit, Coach. Your play-by-play analysis, not play-by-play, but your analysis was pretty awesome. I had it playing. I was putting clothes away in my room, and I had it playing, and I'm like, he doesn't sound like that on the podcast. Like,
well, that wasn't a Stony Brook game. That was Suffolk County High School, right?
Oh, right. It was a high school game. What?
Yeah, Suffolk County High School.
But he had the post or the in between periods interview of the Stony Brook game.
That was unbelievable.
Weekend. He had a big weekend.
That was Tortorella-esque. That was unreal.
The walk off.
We're going
hysterical.
Yeah, we're going to nationals to win. That's where we're going.
No,
all
it was
right,
for the playoffs. It was for the playoffs. I didn't make any.
PJ, I'm going to upload it. PJ, I'm going to upload it to the drive so we can play the interview.
That was unbelievable. Upload that interview.
Anyway,
that was unreal.
Yeah, I mean, Zibanejad's playing well. I haven't seen Kreider play, but these tournaments are like Stanley Cup final game 7 atmosphere to me.
More. It's like
These
more.
guys are playing do or die,
Dude,
and loser goes home attitude where it's over. And I question if Zibanejad and Kreider have that.
I mean,
that's going to be my next statement on our next topic. This is what I question. Do these guys have it? I don't think guys like Panarin. There's certain guys that I've been saying for 2 years I don't think have it.
Well, that's why they got JT. Bring him into the fight, right? I mean,
it's
watch JT crush somebody now. I mean, they're no meaningless game. They're still crushing people.
Just that statement in that opening face-off against Canada,
they want to go on the
like
they
5
go
times. I'm like, just the balls. I can't say it any other way. Just to go out there at the drop of the puck, and then for JT Miller after those 2 fights to go right at him in front of the net and just drop him.
As my dad would say, the Goulions.
Oh my God, I can't. It was a great start. I'm sorry, I didn't expect any of that, and
I loved it.
I loved it to death. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how the Tkachuk brothers?
You gotta love those guys.
We have to get Brady Tkachuk. We have to get Brady Tkachuk.
You got the soft tampering going on right now, Coach. JT Miller that.
If Ottawa doesn't make the playoffs this year, he's gonna want out. I think.
Coach, if you're on X and you're actually on it, you should see the things about Brady Tkachuk. You got Islanders fans that are like, they're like, trade Dobson and Yzerman and a first and a second and this guy for Tkachuk. Rangers fans are like Laffy, Fox, Schneider, like for Brady. The Ottawa could get so much for Brady Tkachuk right now if the fans had any say. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm serious. Like the fans of all teams.
I've been an advocate of it the whole season. I've been wanting.
How long ago did I call the Brady Tkachuk to the Rangers thing? Yeah. So I just want to say when it happens, because it will, that I was there first. Before all this hoopla.
Those 2 guys, I really didn't. I mean, obviously Tkachuk came over to the Panthers, Matt, and he made a big difference. But they're just really generational players, man. Generational players. They're just
unique.
They admit that I don't know, bravado, that will. I don't know what it is. It's a special. It's
not generational, Coach, because like Crosby's a generational player, right? But it's unique. It's such a unique mix of a player, the guy with skill that is top 40, top 30 in the league, who also is just a banger like that. Like you don't get that in modern day.
It's Cam Neely. Brady Tkachuk is just like Cam Neely.
Yeah. It's a modern day Cam Neely. It's a guy he's better than Cam Neely because he's modern day.
Yeah.
It's the what it is? Better speed, better puck control, better, whatever.
You know what it is? Like when we watched the Rangers play Ottawa, I think I said it in the beginning of the season. It's like it seems like he's on the ice all the time, Brady. It's like when they're on the ice, they are noticeable every time, every shift.
Yeah.
And a lot of players aren't like that. Take Chris Kreider. Most of the game, you hardly notice him out there. You know, there's not a hit. There's not a.
But he's clutch. He's at least clutch. I mean,
I'm just comparing the style when the Tkachuks are in the game. Every shift on TV, you notice them.
Yeah, even for Brady, Brady just went 12 or 13 games without registering a point for the Sens, and even then, he's on the ice and. Watch out. Like he's gonna make a difference no matter what he's doing. He's not scoring, but they just have such a diverse array of skills.
Play the interview.
You want to play it now?
Sorry, Mike.
Play the interview.
All right. Here it goes.
Let's trying to get Mike's reaction to this.
Yeah, Mike's got to see this.
Coach Ed Armelino of the Stony Brook Seawolves. Coach, thanks for popping by to do this interview while both teams are warming up. Last weekend of the regular season, a lot of excitement here. You're coming into World Ice Arena to face the Lions, your 3rd meeting of the season. First one, your side lost 10-0. You came back 8 days later. You picked up the win 8-6. What are you looking for out of the group in the rubber match here tonight?
Well, we pretty much have playoffs and nationals locked up, so the game is just more or less to try to set a statement because we may face them in nationals again. Everybody knows their best player, who he is, so we need to work on defending that. We did a good job in the second game, like you said. So we learned a lot. We got a few more players back. We had a little adversity in the beginning, but we're on a roll right now. Let's see if we can finish it off tonight.
Like you said, we never want to look too far ahead, but you mentioned playoffs, Nationals coming up. Next week, we'll all be in Shelton, Connecticut for the Empire playoffs. A lot of excitement behind that. What are the expectations for the team heading into that weekend?
Well, last year was a big year for us. It was our best season in 5 years. We made it to the finals, lost in a close one. So we're, to be honest, we want to win it. We want to win it. We feel we have the momentum now. We got a few injuries back. We got a new player. I think we're rolling pretty good right now. So we're looking to win it all. We're going to try our hardest.
Coach, thanks for taking time. Best of luck tonight.
Good night.
We'll talk to you soon.
What?
Coach Ed Armelino from the Stony Brook Seawolves. We'll pop back over.
What?
I love that.
Sign him up for NHL Network.
He was
Dude.
dialed in.
Coach.
We're looking to win it. We're looking to win this tournament. He shakes his hand and walks right off. I love it.
What do you say?
No, it's great, Coach. It was unbelievable. It's dude. First of all, we're just messing with you, man. We're so proud of you, man. Go national.
That was incredible, dude.
That's amazing. That was
What'd you
awesome.
think, Mike?
Dude, you rattled off that whole thing without even a hitch. You didn't even breathe. You just bang.
That is unreal.
Let me tell you something.
My
The
first
way
thought was,
the way these coaches do it in interviews with they just jam a mic in their face. They came up to me. I think Mike from Long Island Sports. Thanks a lot for all the.
By the way, is that Long Island Sports Network, that interview?
That's
Yeah.
Long Island Sports
Yeah.
Network.
Shout out to
Mike for
Long
the
Island Sports
opportunity. He does a great job. So he calls me. I'm on the way to the game. I'm thinking about this game because I'm heated about Columbia again, the whole thing. And he goes, "We want to interview you before the game at warm-up if you're interested." I'm like, "Okay." So now I'm driving. And I'm like, now I'm just thinking about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do. It's like the whole thing's going through my mind. I get there by the locker room, I'm talking to Coach Mike, and we're talking, but the whole time stuff's going through my head. It's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
It's funny.
Dude, Chris's comment. Did Coach
What'd he
drink
say?
a 5 hour? Did Coach drink a 5-hour energy right before the interview?
It's all adrenaline, baby. Nothing like that.
No, hell of a job by you, Coach. Hell of a job.
And 2 wins this weekend, right, Coach?
Yeah, well, Saturday was more or less kind of a what do we call that, Ed? A throwback game in Rochester. What does he call it?
I corrected you on a throwaway game up in Rochester.
Yeah, we had Sacred Heart had canceled on us. It was going to be our senior night. So St. John's is coming into the league next year. They're an upstart team. They haven't had a team in 30-something years. And
Good.
So they were gracious enough to schedule a game with us. And we sat a few players because of the flu. The flu is going around. Not apparently, PJ. The flu is going around. And
I am for sure.
Well, coaches, players were lined up for Team USA, but they didn't make the roster, but still caught it in the training camp.
Yeah.
But, we beat them pretty good, handily. We did a good job, and it was a clean game. But we had a good weekend. We finished off the season with the most wins we've had in 5 years.
Great job, Coach.
Wicked.
Coach has his ringtone on for text messages. So you guys might hear that beep throughout the episode.
I didn't have nothing beeped.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move off Mika Zibanejad and Coach Ed. We'll go back to Coach Ed throughout the episode periodically because that was just unbelievable.
I do have a minor coach's corner if you want to throw that in a little while later, just to let you know.
Oh, it's good. Thanks for the heads up. And
I'll throw that in after the commercial.
I'm glad. Thanks for the heads up. So we, could have made a graphic and prepared for it and all that. But yeah, we can do it when we play the commercial a little bit. But first, let's talk Adam Fox. Guy's getting absolutely crucified online by fans of Team USA and the Rangers. I'm seeing a lot of negativity around Fox's play in this tournament, particularly fans saying his no-move clause kicks in July 1st. Should the Rangers consider moving him? He looks slower than these guys. Will he even make Team USA in the Olympics? Blah, 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 blah. So we brought this up, because last week, Mikey P, we invited you back on because last week you brought up this McAvoy for Fox trade idea that was shot down pretty strongly by this podcast. And I just wanted to revisit that after McAvoy's game against Canada and allow PJ an opportunity to present a defense of Adam Fox. So this is really going to be a 4-against-1 against PJ. No, but seriously, it won't be 4-against-1. But I just kind of want to get the idea. So first off, let's get our reactions to Fox's play in the 2 games. Coach, we'll start with you. You seem to have a lot to say in the last segment, previewing what you were going to say here. So we'll start with you. Fox's play against Canada and in the first game against Finland. What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm a big Adam Fox fan. I think his hockey IQ is, not to sound like Micheletti because I'm a commentator now, but I'm going to say it's second to none in the league as far as the way he anticipates plays and moves the puck. But again, I question the what's necessary to win a Stanley Cup. He's up there in the league. I don't feel that you can have your superstar players or more than one be of that nature. And I don't see him having it. I mean, he does play good D. He's making good passes, but there were times during the game I'm watching it. I'm like, is he benched? I haven't seen him out there. He's not doing anything. So it was a difficult time for me to see was he injured, what was going on. Again, you notice Tkachuk out there every shift. You notice certain players who want it every shift. I didn't notice him out there. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to bring up the matchup yet. I thought we were going to discuss that, and you look at McAvoy, he got schooled, not only him, on that first goal by McDavid, and he got beat very quickly. That's an insane play by McDavid, and most
unreal.
Probably any defenseman in the league would get schooled by that. I'm not blaming him, but I think he took that in his mind and said that's not happening again.
Yeah,
and the team itself said that's not happening again.
And then he laid him out,
and they
crushed him.
And when I saw that video after seeing it in the game, and I saw it over and over, I'm like, you're not telling me they didn't go into the locker room or on the bench and say, guys, this is what we have to do. And they
squashed him like a bug.
They boxed him.
I bet you McDavid's never been hit that hard in his whole career.
They boxed him and McKinnon into the boards every time. They shut them down, turned them to the outside every time with the back pressure that I always talk about. And McAvoy did not even hesitate. I don't think you're ever going to see that out of Adam Fox. And I think that's a game-changing play, kind of like a Trouba-like hit where it just changes the tone of everything. Now he's thinking twice about going certain speeds. He's not that he's not going to do it, but he's just hesitating that little bit. And it
was when I was watching the game earlier today. They were saying that McDavid didn't even go on that side of the ice for the rest of the game with the puck.
All right, I didn't notice that, but I would believe it because that's a game changer.
So before we get into the weeds with this whole debate, what you just said, Coach, is the exact impetus for my thought, McAvoy for Fox.
Look, last week I didn't hate it. Yeah. I just said let's throw in two other players. Give us Pastrnak and McAvoy, or somebody. Go 2 for 2.
Like give us your best player as well.
In your commentator wisdom, you just articulated it better than I ever could.
McAvoy and Pasta for Fox and Panarin.
Right.
That was
if I was Boston, there's no way I'm doing that.
There's no way Boston would make that trade. No chance.
No. It would be.
There's my other comparison. Now you take Pastrnak and Panarin. Yeah, Panarin's a 100-point scorer. Yeah, he has been doing okay in the playoffs with points, but he's not that game changer. He's not going to go out there in a game 7 and just dominate and run.
Pastrnak and Panarin, by the way, are 2 NHL superstars who both have Game 7 overtime winners in the last 2 or 3 years to their name. So the whole narrative of this, they're not I don't buy that. I just don't. It's not all about.
That's your opinion. That's your
it's
opinion.
Not all about.
I just feel Pastrnak is more of a playoff style forward who can score.
He was absolutely shut down by Toronto last year until he was called out by the coach. He did nothing until that Game 7 OT winner. But he's a playoff style player. Why? Because he's 6'3"?
No, because he's
physical. He's more of a power forward than Panarin.
Physical.
More like Ovechkin.
He's more than Panarin is.
I mean, he tried to fight Matthew Tkachuk.
tried
to fight
being the
Magic
key
and
word.
Chuck. Panarin would never do that.
Panarin
had that reverse hit against Washington against Oshie. That's more of an even matchup for him. I'm just saying, like Panarin is tougher than you give him credit for, in my opinion.
I don't think Oshie and Panarin's an even matchup. Oshie's a big boy.
Well, there you go. He had that reverse hit on Oshie, knocked him out of the series. I mean, that's not really fair. I get your point. I would do the trade because Pastrnak is like 5 years younger than Panarin, and signed to what is his contract? It's probably similar.
11 and a half.
So it's the same contract,
All right. Well, I'm not looking at contracts. We're not talking about the complete dynamic of it.
I'm
talking about the player style. And to me, whether you want to say Pastrnak got shut down against Toronto, that's fine.
Completely shut down.
To me, he's a better power forward with a scoring package. He might not be getting the points Panarin gets. I don't watch him enough to see it. Mike watches him every game like we watch Panarin. I don't see that. I see Pastrnak as a finisher and more physical player for a playoff style of hockey.
Well, you said he's a better power forward. I have to agree.
So back to the players that are in the tournament.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, I just wanted to push back a little on this whole I get annoyed with these guys aren't playoff performer conversation. So you want to talk about Adam Fox, right? You question, will he be good in the playoffs? And I'm going to let PJ take the reins on some of the analytics behind these two games. But before we do, people forget this, okay? In 21-22, the Rangers went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Adam Fox had 5 goals and 23 points in 20 games during that run. And that was in the playoffs, right? With the team that was upstart and nobody thought they were going to be good. 23 points in 20 games. Better than Ryan McDonough's run with the Rangers in 14. One of the best runs by a Rangers D points-wise that they've ever had.
And a Game 7 goal versus Carolina.
In a playoff run, okay? Then the next year, they lost to New Jersey in 7 games. So he had 8 assists in those 7 games. It was over a point per game. Last year, yeah, he struggled, definitely. But he also took a knee-to-knee from Nick Jensen in the first round. So, I don't think he's fully recovered from that. I'm not ready to say he's not a playoff guy, man. I'm just not. This tournament has made me concerned. The whole season has made me concerned with him. The whole season has made me concerned.
In that run to the Eastern Conference Final when he had the 23 points in 20 games, do you remember him flying around the ice playing this style hockey? I think in the last 4 years, the game has evolved that much that all of the defensemen have passed him by. His IQ is great. His IQ is phenomenal on power plays in certain situations. But 5-on-5 hockey, like this style hockey, he's not the fleetest of foot. Whoever you keep quoting, he's just PK. Not. Guys like Werenski, he's literally the worst defenseman on Team USA as far as the eye test goes. So if that wants to cue in PJ's analytics, go for it. But as far as the eye test goes, he's the worst defenseman on Team USA. In my eyes.
And if you want to compare him to Ryan McDonough in 2014,
in terms of
McDonough may not have had the points like you're throwing out on the analytics, the physicality and playoff caliber hockey of getting to the finals,
being a game changer.
I'll give up the points and take that defensive style.
I will just throw. I'm just going to throw this out there, and then PJ, I'm going to pass it to you for the analytics. I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, Little Ed. As far as the eye test, his speed isn't up to par for these games. But I will say this. He never, ever had speed like this. It's not like he slowed down. This has been his game.
I know, but I think everyone else got faster, and he didn't work on his speed.
And also, I'm just going to point out,
he's got it.
On this podcast, we've talked about the need to have defensemen with speed, but you guys have continuously defended guys who don't have speed. Like Lindgren and Trouba and defensive style defensemen, they don't have the speed either, and you guys have defended them.
Those are middle tier defensemen. We're talking about elite defensemen right now.
So you're saying he doesn't have? You want your elite defenseman to have the speed?
Yeah, we defend players up to their caliber. We're not comparing Lindgren and Fox.
Right. That makes sense, I guess. If you're saying you want your elite defenseman to be like a Werenski or a Makar or something like that,
Correct.
with speed wise.
A
Fox doesn't have that
dynamic
speed.
two-way defenseman that could throw a hit when the going gets tough. Fox is not throwing a hit. That's
Well,
it.
you know who should be that?
Like,
Keandre Miller.
Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
If DeAndre Miller steps up and is a game changer, then Fox can continue being Fox. Fine, I'll take that trade.
All right, PJ. So I want you to introduce analytics a little bit, the expected goal stat. Explain this to Coach like he's a 3-year-old.
Yep.
And as best you
I don't
can.
even want to know about the expected goal.
And then I want you to talk about.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
And I want you to.
it up.
My man.
I don't want goals saved above expected. That's just a stat that's made up by these analytics, by the
Clip that.
analysts.
Clip it. I want this
Put
clip.
something else in there. I don't want to know about it.
Clip it.
I can
Clip
see
it.
if the guy can play.
Clip it, and tag Mike Kelly, please.
You can tag him all you want. I'll talk to Mike Kelly about it.
No, I want that clipped, and I want to tag Mike Kelly, and we're going to bring him back on, and we're going to try this again.
I'm fine.
And we need to tag Messier, Subban, and Mike Kelly and get Coach Ed on the ESPN panel.
I guarantee you,
I'd pay good money to see Coach on that panel.
I guarantee you, Messier and Subban, when they start throwing this goals expected stuff, they're going, "What the hell is this? What is he going to hit somebody?" You know, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
All right. Enough. PJ, give PJ the floor. PJ,
Go ahead,
Steelman.
PJ. It's all on you.
Steelman the case for Adam Fox, because I'm in the middle here. I feel like it's 3 against 1. Mikey P, I'm sure, is on Eddie's side and Coach's side. So I'm in the middle, though. I see their point, but Steelman the Adam Fox case.
I love Coach dipping when I was finally going to put him.
Yeah, he's not listening. He's not listening to you.
The headphones go a long way, I think.
I want to preface everything by saying I'm not like the number one analytics fan ever, but I do look at it to kind of reaffirm what you're seeing. And that's the whole idea behind it. I don't really like when people will just flash charts or use analytics as the end all be all. It's not where I'm at. So just to kind of, give people the background there, because I am an old school and that I like to watch, I like to see what I'm seeing, but let's be frank, boys, your eyes can play tricks on you. You can be biased. And I see it all the time. Every time Kakko scores a goal this year with Seattle, oh man, he never did that with the Rangers. I never saw him shoot the puck like that. I can pull up countless goals he did that with the Rangers. He might not have done it consistently, but he did it. But we forget quickly. And that's the whole point, right? Like when you're watching a game, you might be looking at it through a different lens, or your brain can be playing a trick on you. The analytics kind of tell you the other side. And again, it doesn't mean that's the end all be all. It doesn't 100% say that Fox is having a good tournament. And from the eye test, you guys are right. Like he's not standing out, but I don't think he's standing out in a bad way. He's also just playing a different role. I mean, they're not really giving him the minutes, and it could be because maybe the coaches aren't liking what they see. But so to dial down analytics, to dumb it down as much as possible. And coach, I guarantee you use analytics in a way you don't think.
You're going to have to dumb it down a lot for Coach, like a lot.
Yeah, but coach, when you're playing a game and you look at the totality of the game and you look at scoring chances for and against. So say you guys had 10 scoring chances, the other team at 8. You look at those kind of things, right? Oh, he's muted. Coach, you're muted, buddy.
Dad, you're muted.
He doesn't know how to unmute himself.
Oh, you're muted.
He walked away.
You gotta have a voice overlay on cue.
Sorry. I heard everything you said as I got up. I said that I do like in-game analytics. I'll go by analytics in the game. My assistant coach, Mike, Eddie's good friend, he's big on analytics. He comes into every Tuesday practice meeting, goes over who did this in face-offs. But you know what? In a game, in a certain situation, narrow the analytics down to, like Messier did the Game 7 show, narrow things down to precious situations. Panarin, like we talked about this for years, useless goals in a 5-0 game. I don't want to know those
a question.
analytics.
What are you doing? This is like when I'm in deposition, this is what I deal with constantly from witnesses.
Well,
That wasn't his question. Listen
That's
to
the
his
lawyer.
question.
That's the lawyer in me. I'm just throwing words around.
Listen to his question and answer.
You're making my point with the biases, though. It's
So what's your question
Ask
again?
the question again.
When you are looking at film and when you're looking at how players did, you want and say your team had 8 scoring chances versus 2 on the other team, right? That's good. You're looking at that, right?
Yeah,
That's all
easy.
really the analytics are looking at. When
You're
you
looking
see
at
those
that as his
percentages,
question.
when
Yes, is the answer.
when you see someone have like 80% on ice scoring chances for, that means, for example, that player there was 10 scoring chances on the ice, let's say. 8 of them were for his team. That's good.
I
If
understand
my
that.
player is on the ice and there's 10 scoring chances and 8 of them are on his side, he's doing the right thing. He's not giving up as much. He might not always be getting those scoring chances, but when he's on the ice, good things are happening. And that's kind of what I'm going to show here. That
to add to that, this is what PJ is gonna talk about here is individual game numbers, which is not really, and in fairness to the other side of this argument, it's not really as conclusive as larger samples. But when you have larger samples of time that show consistently that when this player is on the ice, his team outchances the other team 8-2 or whatever it may be, that is more indicative of maybe the eye test doesn't say this person is good, but there's something about them that is good. That maybe let's look a little closer. Let's figure out why this is occurring. So in fairness, to play counter, PJ, these are individual games. That's not as conclusive.
Yes. What I'm going to show on the screen in a minute here are going to be the 2 games he's played so far, obviously not counting tonight so far. But I did look up some other stats, raw and analytics of this season to kind of give you a bigger sample to understand it too. That it's not just, these small game samples. And that's also the other side too. We're talking about 2 games in a random tournament that's not realistic. Yeah, it's playoff atmosphere, but he's not going to be going against a team like they're playing now. So this is never going to happen, really. So let's pop it up here so everyone can see. All right, I'll start on the right. The right is the game against Finland. And I know when you look at that, your eyes are going to glaze over. But essentially, it's just a graph. On the bottom,
okay.
It's
Can you explain that again?
Yeah, just the graph.
I was looking
One
at
more
this
time
on the
into my
text
good
message.
ear.
I was looking at this on the text message. I'm like, what the hell is this?
And that's what I'm here for, Coach. I just want to show you the other side. I know, and I get it. Like, I'm the same way. I don't, like I said before, I don't like the end all be all. You throw up this chart with no,
out of his chair.
Yeah, President's losing it. But no, I don't like when people just throw up the charts with nothing to kind of go back and no background. So I'm going to kind of dumb it down where the bottom of the chart is going to go from the lowest amount of expected goals, which is basically scoring chances, to the highest. So you want to be on the far right, and on the lowest is against.
This is the chart on the left or the right?
I'm looking at the right for now.
Okay.
And on the left-hand side of that right chart, it says it's a chances against. So you want to be towards the top. Fox is towards the top and almost all the way to the right. That's like really good. So essentially in that chart, he's almost 80% of scoring chances for in that game. The only players better than him in the Finland game as far as scoring chances for and against are both Tkachuk brothers and Eichel. Meaning, to dumb it down, when Fox was on the ice versus Finland, they controlled 80% of the scoring chances. That is really good. He might not be getting all of them, but he is somehow responsible on the ice to not letting either chances against, which shows on there.
And to add to that, PJ, his D partner, Noah Hannafin, is below him on that list, correct? So it's not just like, Noah Hannafin's doing it and he's not.
Right.
Hannafin's behind him on it.
Right. Not only is Fox
be that far. Wait, how
can
Hannafin be that far behind if he's his partner?
Well, Hannafin's behind him in generating chances for. So when you go on to the right side, the farther on your right, the more chances you're generating. the higher you are to the top, the least amount of chances you're giving up. It's really that simple. So Fox is giving up very little chances. He's also generating chances. Again, like Cousin Ed said, it's a one-game sample, but he's up there at the very top of the team, the top 3. And then we move over to the left against Canada. Look who's on the very top of the whole entire
can't even
team.
tell.
Again, I'm not saying he's the best player on the ice. I'm not saying that. But what I'm suggesting is when you look at the eye test, yeah, he might not be looking like he's the best player on the ice. But when you look at the raw data that says chances for and chances against, he's the best on the team.
All right, so you're telling me based on this chart on the left, you're going to take on your all-Canada team. If you wanted to start a hockey team, not even all-Canada, you're going to take Cirelli, Hagel, and Harley definitely over Marchand?
No, and again, it's a one-game sample. And these charts are not the end-all be-all. I don't want to.
If this was a 10-game sample,
mm-hmm.
You're going to take those 3 players over Marchand because this is telling me I want these 3 guys on my team.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's good, but I'm not saying you take them all the time over that, but that's why you don't use one-game samples, and that's why it's not an end-all be-all. My point is that you guys were saying eye test, he does not look good. But the data says he's actually doing fine out there.
All right, so now you're going to go by the data again. Let's go by the data. Which Tkachuk is that on the bottom at the 20% or 18%?
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. They didn't label.
All right, so
that's money.
Whichever one it is, you're telling me you're not going to put that player on the. You're not going to put one of the Tkachuks on the ice when the game's on the line with 3 minutes to go.
No, but that's what
you're
I'm
telling me. If I'm going by this chart, I'm putting out Boldy, Werenski, Miller, Nelson, and Fox. Those are my 5 highest scoring chance guys. So my best chance to score is putting them 5 out there with the game on the line. That's what I'm doing.
Maybe that game, yes. If you're looking at that game, I
can tell you there is absolutely no chance that Sullivan's going to have Brock Nelson on the ice with an empty net to get the goal. There's absolutely zero chance.
No, and again, it's not an end-all be-all. But what I'm saying,
you're getting me excited. I
like it. I like getting you fired up. It's great for ratings.
But there's no. So my issue with this is an individual metric. You're not accounting for things like the matchups. And there's just so much in the team component of this game that just gets washed under the rug when you're looking at individual-based statistics. Like Fox could be playing against, the 4th line on, Canada or Finland, whatever. And, Slavin and Faber are getting the line 1 matchup and they're playing fantastic. And they're all the way at the bottom of that chart.
Yeah.
Like if it's game 7 and I had this roster, Slavin and Faber are on the ice on defense for me 100% of the time.
The thing is, Mike, Fox is continuously on top of this list for the Rangers all season. He's one of the top 5-10 guys in every game. No matter what you say.
You left PJ out to dry. Talk about me getting up and disappearing.
No, I didn't disappear. My headphones died, so I had to
switch
PJ
to the Wolves and walked away.
I knew I was expecting pushback, but again, my whole point is I'm not saying Fox is the best player on USA, and I'm not saying anything else. But you look at it too, like maybe Fox by eye isn't having a good tournament. Matthews has done nothing.
Because
I got a massive issue with this.
Because he's stuck on a line with Jack Hughes.
Matthews is doing nothing. Have you watched him play a two-way game while you're watching the game?
Pull up the chart. Pull up the chart.
These statistics
Matthews has
do not account for.
Look at Matthews.
These statistics don't account for defense.
Sure.
They're just not good at measuring defense.
It does.
Austin Matthews has been the best.
It's supposed to. Chances against.
Look at Matthews' back checking ability and his
on these charts, Matthews is generating little to no offense. He's playing
generating no offense, but he's preventing offense.
That's because he's playing a defensive role.
On the McAvoy hit, the McAvoy hit I was talking about before, Matthews gave the back pressure to McDavid that let McAvoy step into him.
So,
right, I'll take that intangible every time over that chart.
Did you see when
I'm coaching a game, if I see a player busting his ass like that, he's going out there with 2 minutes left because I know he's going to skate up and down the ice.
Coach, did you see the
Fox
clip?
is not going to be able to catch McDavid in that situation. Let's start this whole. Let me finish this whole thing by. I love Adam Fox. He's on my team, but you can't have him and Panarin, in my opinion. They're not going to win a championship with their two best players being that kind of a player. That's
what about Mika?
Mika's. We already talked about him. He shouldn't be on the team. If it wasn't for his contract, he probably would be gone already. Whatever the case is. I'm talking about Panarin and Fox. They are two dynamic, high hockey intelligence, but when it comes to crunch time, they're not in my top 5 players in the league that are going to win you a championship.
Well, did you see the clip I sent you guys of Fox on Crosby?
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, he did exactly what you want any defenseman. Physical, pinned him up against the boards, took the puck away, and went to a rush up the ice. I mean,
that was one shift.
But that's
what do you do the 5 other? What do you do with the 10 other?
That's the bias. I'm telling you,
Crosby probably
didn't see that because you
what
didn't.
About when he got, what about when he got tripped? What about when he got tripped by McDavid and he was bitching to the ref instead of getting back into the play?
That was he definitely got tripped.
He got tripped, but
whatever the case is, I get that, but you got to finish the game. You got to argue with the ref at the whistle.
No, but I think PJ's point is the bias to help him out here. The bias that we're seeing, and I'm guilty of it too, because I'm being critical of Fox. Honestly, like I agree with you in the sense that he doesn't impact the game in a way that analytics are not going to catch. So, for example, that McAvoy hit was definitely impactful in that game. Analytics is not going to be able to pick up how that impacts the game. It's the same way Matt Rempe impacts the game. And fans hate Matt Rempe. Oh, Matt Rempe sucks. No, he impacts the game. He brings emotion. He throws a check and it changes the course of momentum in a game. That's what that McAvoy hit did. Analytics will not be able to pick that up. So, Coach, if your point is that Adam Fox is not going to lay a hit like that impacts a game in a playoff game, I think you're 100% correct. But that doesn't mean that Fox is playing bad. That there's two different. I
didn't say he's playing bad. What I'm talking about, if he's out there 5-on-5 at the end of a game 7, and you have Marchand out there for the other team, Pasternak, they're gonna just railroad him. If you're against, look at what happened against the Panthers last year. What were his stats against the Panthers?
Well, he was also playing on one knee.
We didn't score. The Rangers didn't score many goals.
If you look at the analytics, I bet you his analytics are pretty good against the Panthers.
Okay,
but yeah, he also was hampered. He was hampered by one knee last year. We all agree that he was injured in the playoffs last year, right? Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
All right. And if he's still injured now, then what is he in this tournament?
He's saddled with Ryan Lindgren, who's one of the worst defensemen analytically in the league in the last year and a half.
And I'll give you some just bigger.
Well, there's your answer. There's your answer right there. Coaches aren't going by analytics. If he's still with Fox, then the coaches are like, I don't care about analytics. We need Lindgren out there with him.
Yeah, they are.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have him out there.
That's true. And analytics aren't the work. Like I said, they're not the end all be all, and that shouldn't be it. And I'm not that kind of person. I'm just kind of backing up and trying to go against the bias. But to give you a bigger sample size.
I don't hate you, PJ. Don't worry.
Oh no, I don't. I love this. But the bigger sample size this season to bring home the analytics. When Fox is on the ice, the Rangers control over 56% of the scoring chances. When he's not on the ice, the team is down to 45% overall. Meaning, when he's on the ice, a lot of good things are happening. When he's off, they're getting smoked.
Yeah, that period. I mean, that's just
again though.
And looking at it,
Fox plays with the first line. So when he's on the ice, so isn't Panarin. So isn't Trocheck, whoever. He's playing with really good offensively gifted players that are also contributing to that metric.
Sure,
so really that 80%.
But he's also playing against the best players on the other team.
Yeah.
So that balances, right? Like he's playing against the best defensive players on the other team most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So look, at the end of the day, it's a tool in the toolbox. It's just another perspective. I think we all can agree that as far as eye test goes, Fox has looked a step slow in these games with Team USA. He's not the fleetest of foot. This is a highly competitive, fast tournament. All these guys have massive amounts of speed. No NHL team has the amount of speed that Team Canada has. That is, they have Connor McDavid on the second line, right? So we don't have to worry about that with Fox. He's not going to face a team like Team Canada ever in the NHL, So we can all agree that he looks a step slow, but I think that when you're not looking at things that the eye test shows, like physicality and game momentum swinging plays, like Fox isn't going to make those plays, PJ. Like he just isn't. Like he's not going to impact the emotion of a team like McAvoy's hit did on McDavid, period. Like I don't think you can dispute that despite his good analytics. He's not going to be the guy that does that for the Rangers, right?
I don't think McAvoy, in my opinion, is the kind of guy offensively, to me, as far as puck handling and movement, he's an above average NHL defenseman, but he's not an elite one. But by bringing that physicality into it, that puts him into the higher echelon of defensemen. And like I said, I wasn't a big fan of his for the last 2 years, but watching him live a couple of times, maybe he matured a little bit. I see him playing the game a lot more efficient. That's my word of the year, efficient.
Well, the other thing, I wish I looked very, very hard in a lot of different places for this stat, but Valaket is big, and he's looked over years and years of data that in the NHL, you need your defenseman to have X amount of points. I don't know if it was 175, somewhere in that vein, where your team defense has to have so many points. It correlates to playoffs every year for those teams. So while it makes sense that the Rangers do need a McAvoy type defenseman, if you take Fox off, there ain't no other defenseman that's getting points and generating.
But see, that's where a guy like Miller needs to step in, because right now he doesn't have that big physical counterpart that can allow the offensive side of his game to develop.
Yeah, and Borgen's helping with that.
A safety net. Yeah, but you need a safety net on the back end because you need to learn how to make mistakes as a defenseman in the offensive zone. But in a situation like playing for the Rangers where they're a little bit weaker on the back end of the red line, that might sort of hamper his willingness to take those chances.
Yep.
So if you pair him with a guy like McAvoy, that's what you need for his development.
Yeah,
I
said that last year.
Yeah,
I don't doubt it. I don't see Miller ever putting up the numbers Fox is putting up. I mean,
he never would. But if you pair him with McAvoy, like look at McAvoy's stats. When he plays with a comparable team, he's 65 points in 82 games. You pair that with Keandre Miller, I mean that equals out to Fox plus and then some.
65 is a lot of points. I don't see McAvoy doing that, but I get your point. The last thing I'll say on this, and Coach will hate this, but when you look at expected goals for percentage, Adam Fox with Ryan Lindgren, this is a few games ago, so it's not up till today, but a few games ago, 48.48% they control while on the ice. So it's less than 50% of expected goals while they're together. Fox without Lindgren, the team controls 66.5% of the scoring chances.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny you say that, but we've talked about this for 2 or 3 years. That Fox without Lindgren looks lost by the eye test.
Yeah, there are times where I agree with that. Yeah,
it looks like he struggles, and you've agreed with it also for sure.
Yeah, I do.
But now the stats are telling something totally different.
Well, the stats have always told something totally different.
It's an interesting dynamic. With a guy like Fox, I feel like the analytics eye test game is really interesting because his analytics are always going to be good. And the eye test, not so much because he isn't the best athlete. I mean, let's be honest, like his game is predicated on his brain, right? So it's when you watch him, you're going to be wanting a little bit more. There's times where he gets beat defensively with speed or he gets out physicaled and, his positioning is a little bit off and you're like, shit, he sucks. But his analytics are always going to be good because he can move the puck and he uses his brain well. So it's an interesting
more often than not, he's going to make the right play for sure. And again, like I said, I'm a big fan of his. He's a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
But
all right.
We said it for.
I just have one more point It's just I just don't know. And back to the bias, I just don't know what happened here that we're looking at a horrible season for the team that is just no one saw coming, and then these 2 games, all of a sudden, everyone's like trade Fox, kind of to bring this point home. It's like the same bias. Do we forget how good this guy is, despite how bad things are going?
Yeah,
he's tied for 6th in the league in points among all D, 5th in
They
his
do,
league.
PJ. They do because Fox won the Norris Trophy 2 years ago, and now we're questioning whether he'll make Team USA in the Olympics next year. I mean, that's where we are, right? Based on how he appears on the ice. So
look, I'm not going to say he's not one of the best defensemen in the league, and I don't want them to trade him per se. I'm just for this argument of this debate that Mike brought up last week. When I'm watching that USA game versus Canada in that kind of a physical pressure game, McAvoy outshined him.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
And let me jump back in.
McAvoy.
So, speaking of biases, you all agree that first of all, you've all heard this. When people say you sign players for the playoffs are a different breed of hockey. It's a completely different game. When you're looking at all these analytics, the majority of the games that factor into that are regular season hockey games. So you have to take that into account as well when you're looking at these and judging their performance in the playoffs. And I mean, to that tune, like Charlie McAvoy's stats in the playoffs when he has a comparable team in front of him, he's a point a game player. Look at his playoff stats. In the playoffs, he's a point a game. But yeah, so I mean, circle back to the original question that we asked however many minutes ago, Fox, McAvoy. Granted, with all we've talked about, with all coaches said, with, the eye test, all that, being in the moment, being able to impact the game in the here and now, it just, there's nothing about it that doesn't make sense to me for both organizations and players.
I'll say
if you put a gun to my head right now and said Fox for McAvoy, you in or you out, I'm doing it.
Little egg, no.
Heading into the playoffs, I'm doing it.
I'm saying
I'm sorry.
This isn't like me.
Gun to my head right now, I'm doing it. I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
Rangers would lose too much. They wouldn't. No one moves the puck.
I couldn't throw on to social media, PJ. What are you waiting for?
No one's going to run the power play.
Clip it.
I mean, look, it's. I'll say this is a lot closer than I was making it last week. I do agree that is a best on best game right there.
Miller can run the power play. Keandre Miller can run the power play. He's got the tools for it.
I know it's one game, guys, but like McAvoy was so good in that game and really impactful. I mean, it's hard to not look at that and say he would impact a 7-game series.
I'm telling you, the game is passing Fox by. The Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup the way they did last year. Vegas won it that same style of hockey the year before. It's a copycat league. That's how the game is going. And you look at these other defensemen, the way that they move their feet, and they're working on their skating, and they're keeping up with players like McKinnon, McDavid. Fox is not able to do that. And if he continues to work on like his IQ and power play and this and that, fine. He's going to excel in that. But he's going to get blown away 5-on-5. I don't care what the analytics say. It's going to start going downhill. It's going to start going downhill. Maybe not right this second, but mark my words, we're going to start seeing a decline unless he starts working really hard on his skating.
Well, part of that, Little Ed, I think, is the Rangers haven't had a long offseason in a while, and Fox is coming off a pretty significant knee injury. So I agree with you, but I don't think he's really had the ability to even work on those things, to be honest.
I don't think he has it. I don't think his athletic ability is going to – you can work on it forever. If you don't have that ability, you're not going to be able to do it.
I'm surprised at both of you being anti-Fox. I mean,
I'm not anti-Fox. I'm just saying they're not going to be able to rely on him and Panarin together as their
unique player in Rangers
Miller's going to have to step. Miller's going to have to step up. Zibanejad's going to have to step up. They're not going to be able to do it. I'm a big fan of the Rangers team, but it's just you watch these games and the passion that these players have, and I just don't see Fox playing without the puck in front of the net good enough in a playoff situation.
That's what I was about to say. Like I'm thinking like a minute left, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final against the Panthers or some. We're not the Panthers, against like Edmonton, whoever. I'm not putting Fox out there right now. Like with McDavid and Draisaitl flying around the offensive zone. You
not
can't,
necessarily his role though.
keep
He's
up.
not the shutdown guy. In those scenario, it's going to be Miller Borgen out there. Let's be real.
Well, I'm not
Miller?
giving Keandre the nod yet.
All right, next topic. Next topic.
Well,
I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed soon.
PJ's right though. That wouldn't be Fox, but you want that to be Fox. Is little.
You want that to be
capable.
Fox. Yes.
Well, if they got a big
McCarr's out
force
there
next to him,
Right?
Quinn Hughes is out there.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. All right, well, look,
Morenski's out there. Hannafin's out there. All these other defensemen are out there.
I'm going to pull the plug on this topic. It's been a good conversation.
We're out there. They're out there with the goalie pulled for us or for them. That's how you got to put it.
I'm pulling the plug.
Right,
I'm pulling the plug on this topic, but I'm just going to say, hopefully, this tournament opened Adam Fox's eyes that he has some work to do. He's still young. He just turned 27. He can work on his game. Rangers might miss the playoffs this year. That could be a blessing for a guy like Fox if that happens. He could work on his game. I hope it doesn't, but it could happen. And he definitely has a little bit of work to do. There's no question. Little Ed is on point with what he's saying. And PJ, you're also on point. Coach and Mike, I'll leave you guys to the side. Let's turn it over to a word from Bella
Solidarity,
Italia
Coach.
before we talk USA Canada and wrap this up. Let's go to Bella.
Hey everybody, Coach Ed here. I'm over here in the shop at Bella Italia, Marble Granite and Quartz, picking up my order for a nice little bathroom I'm doing. I've been a contractor almost as long as I'm a hockey coach. So listen to me when I tell you, when you want the quality work and craftsmanship, come and see the boys over at Bella. They serve all 5 boroughs, Westchester, Long Island, all the way out to Montauk. Whether you're a Ranger fan, Islander fan, Devils fan, they're going to take care of you no matter what. Make sure you give them a call, 516-561-1018. Let's go Rangers.
Never gets old.
I mean, we're already an hour 12 into what should have been 40 minutes of conversation. So you might as well do your coach's corner that you have that we're not ready for.
Well, I don't want to go on the board. I want to go over that the Dylan Larkin goal. First of all, the back pressure we already talked about by Austin Matthews to allow the corner McDavid along the wall and to McAvoy just time it right and step into it was. When you analyze that play, I thought it was just phenomenal because Austin Matthews can't keep up with Connor McDavid, but his hockey IQ to corner him, angle him into a situation was definitely a team effort because McAvoy obviously can't skate with him either. I don't think anybody can. It's been documented. The second part was you have Sidney Crosby. I talk about puck watching, puck management all the time. In a tight game. And Sidney Crosby, when he made that pass, I would bet everything I have that as soon as he made that pass, he was like, that was the dumbest pass I could have made in the game.
I was shocked.
He goes down. The back pressure's coming from the right wing side of the USA team. The D's going for a line change on Canada. And he makes that pass. He's got to know how long he's been out there, that puck should be behind the net. He tries to go for the finesse pass to where the guy was not open. If you watch the play, the guy in blue was right in the lane. And I got to say, he must have turned his head, made the pass, and went, oh, shit, because he knew that wasn't a good situation because he's smart enough to know his D's going for a change and the whole game situation that's going on at that point. And he just blew it. And, kudos to USA turning that puck up ice, beating catching them in the line change, and the speed of the game just took off. And Larkin made a nice shot. I mean, should have that shot been saved? That's questionable. By we talked about the goaltending on Canada from the onset of the tournament.
He's been rough.
Yeah, but he's made some phenomenal saves too. It's one of those situations. But Crosby making that play, it was just mind-boggling to me. That he made that pass and the back pressure by USA to be there, not give up on that play and then turn it up ice was just a great play. That's what it takes to win in the playoffs. And like I said, this was a Game 7 Stanley Cup atmosphere. Thursday night is just going to be phenomenal. I can't wait.
Well, Brady Tkachuk isn't back for the USA, so we could be out Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk in that game. That could really impact what happens. But before we preview the finals, guys, USA-Canada, that game the other night,
Best hockey game I've ever watched.
That might be the best hockey game I've
ever
watched. It's up there, right? I mean, I hesitate to say it because it's like an exhibition game, technically. And
the physicality, the passing on point, the shooting,
the speed,
everything. It was just like.
Well, I said it to my friend who's like a casual fan of hockey. He saw the McDavid goal and he was like, wow, like everyone's so fast out there, but McDavid just seems like another level of fast. And I was like, it's not even just his speed, it's his ability to control the puck.
Yeah.
With speed. PJ, I said this to you also. I copied my text to someone else. But like I picture it like these race car drivers, right? Like they go like 150 miles an hour on a racetrack, right? They're turning and stuff like Talladega Nights or whatever, however fast they go. Like driving 100+ miles an hour in a car is not that difficult, but turning and not crashing the car
in traffic
and like avoiding, stationary objects and things like that, it's pretty difficult. And like the way he controls the puck going 22, 25 miles an hour like he does is just, I've never seen that before. It's unbelievable.
Human cheat code.
He's a cheat code. I mean, he's unbelievable. So you get that, and then on top of that, you get the physicality of Team USA. I mean, that is just, geez, like we talked about McAvoy already. He was all over the place, and like Jacob Slavin, unreal. The guy is just, he might be the best defensive.
He's the best defenseman in the NHL.
He might be the best defensive defenseman in the league. Like, if there was a Little Ed award, like we've been talking about for years, Jacob Slavin would be like a 4-time winner of that award.
There needs to be, because the Norris is becoming like total side topic. It's just whoever gets the most points.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's annoying. It's really
Let's not go on that tangent right now. But
no, I'm not. But I'm going to steer. The hype going into that game too on Saturday, and it exceeded it. That was
it's crazy.
It was built up real high, and it was right off the hop.
What'd you have? Matthew Tkachuk, who'd he fight again? Hagel.
And then it was
Brady fought
Bennett.
Yeah.
And Miller fought
Parayko.
I couldn't pronounce it for some reason. And Parayko apparently has only had one fight in his career.
6'6", Colton Parayko he fought.
Yeah. Miller was ready to fight anybody.
Miller looked like he was jumping, trying to throw those punches.
I love JT.
He did it though. He tried. He got he got in there.
He was like throwing clean overhead.
Going on.
He went down twice and hopped right back up throwing. I was like, wow.
But Little Ed, the group chat. Group chat before the game, apparently Miller, Brady, and Matthew Tkachuk were in a group chat saying they were going to fight in the first minute of the game.
And we're hoping with Drury being one of the GMs and JT in that group chat, we're pushing Brady to come, or even Eichel. You saw that picture of the dinner before the tournament, and who's over in that corner? It's JT Miller, Eichel, Brady Tkachuk, and Trocheck. I like to see it. Eichel's free agent in 2 years. I could already see
love Eichel.
Look at poor Mike back there going, the Rangers just want to sign everybody as usual.
I'm saying thank God for the salary cap. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, it's jumping up. It's jumping up, Mike. Get ready.
And there's an alternate universe. If the Buffalo owners didn't hate the Rangers, that Eichel would be here and not Mika.
I'm just holding my hopes for Edmonton not winning and Leon Draisaitl wanting out and coming to Boston.
That was the rumor before he signed, that he was not going to.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm kind of rooting for Edmonton to win because I feel like if they win, McDavid's more likely to leave.
I don't think
I think if they win, he'll never leave.
He's kind of like the guy that's like, it's like, I can't just leave and let my legacy be that I didn't win here and I went somewhere else and won. Like, I feel like he'll stay if he doesn't win. But if he wins, he
won't leave Canada. I don't think I can really undersell how much of a god he is in Canada.
He's a god. He is unreal. He might be the most talented hockey player I've ever seen. Like just skill wise, forget points and stats and all that. Just
Yeah, but you guys
There's
are
no question.
forgetting.
I don't
You
know.
guys are
Pavel
forgetting they
Datsyuk
let
might
Wayne
take
Gretzky-
that.
They let Wayne Gretzky go. It's not impossible. I don't care how much of a if anybody was a guard in Canada, it was Wayne Gretzky. And
Coach,
still-
if
Yeah,
McDavid
but
hits
that's
free
before
agency to
the
give him
like
20
social
mil,
media and stuff.
yeah, I guess, but
Coach, if McDavid hits free agency to give him 20 million a year,
how many years?
7 years.
That's baseball style. That's baseball type salary for
That's
NHL.
a middle reliever in baseball. What are you talking about?
I
Yeah,
mean, it's type
that's a
salary.
bullpen catcher.
What about
Let's not underestimate the fact that I mean I guess it's been 40 years, but in 40 years, USA is pretty much on a par with Team Canada in hockey, which was
Yeah,
unheard
they
of.
are. That's crazy, right? I mean, look, you look at Team Canada's forwards, and
their
I don't think
goaltending blows the Canada's out of the water?
that
And
might
their
be
three
defense, too, I
goalies.
think.
that might be as good as Gretzky and Lemieux, McDavid and McKinnon. I mean, that's unbelievable, right? So, but you
I don't
look
know.
at
I don't know
the
if you
defense
guys
and
noticed.
goalies, USA all the way, man.
What? No,
I
no.
don't know
What's
if you guys-
amazing
I
is
don't know if you guys they focused in on McKinnon a couple of times. He just looked defeated, like
Nah.
sitting on the bench. I kind of looked like he looked beat up and winded and defeated.
He was more like
he
in
always
shock.
looks like that. He's got that
Yeah.
Peyton Manning look that he's kind of always about to cry, but that's just how he looks. It's the Peyton Manning in him.
The
Yeah,
U.S.
I didn't notice it that much, but
The
I
USD
kinda
had
looked
them
like
in a
he-
blender in the third period. They couldn't
Yeah.
get anything. They couldn't get any speed going. I mean, it was incredible considering these guys haven't played together really, and they were shut down, lockdown, all third.
Got to give a lot of credit to Sullivan.
The Brady
coach.
Kachuk hit on
Ready.
Drew Doughty might have been the nicest hit I've ever seen thrown.
Yeah,
on
That
a
was
pitcher.
such a good hit. He laid him
Doughty.
out.
Doughty knew it was coming too. You saw him go back on the puck, and he knew he had to go for the puck and just make the play. And he felt it coming, and he just took that hit. It was like he went like full, like above the whole dasher.
Yeah.
I mean, give Doughty credit for knowing that's coming and still making the move on the puck.
That's what I'm saying. Like Doughty's a gamer. He knows what he has to do to make that play. I mean, that should be a lesson to a lot of defensemen out there. Like he didn't shy away at all with Brady Kachuk breathing down his neck, and then Kachuk still threw the nicest hit I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
USA's down 2-1 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot
this is a
this is
meaningless game.
JT Miller and Pedersen's first matchup together.
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't been watching closely, but so look, just looking at Team USA and Canada again, Jake Gensel, a big game. We've seen that as Ranger fans. The guy performs well in big spots. Coach, he's a smaller guy, and kind of would push back against that narrative you were pushing earlier. But like, what is it about some of these smaller guys that gives them the ability to come up big in big games, like a Jake Gensel?
Well, Kyle Connor's like that too. He's a smaller, craftier type of player.
Yeah, but Gensel is known for playoff performances.
I'm just saying they have that knack. They could definitely succeed, and he's doing well where he is now too. Right? He's putting up some goals.
Well, yeah.
It's all about being in the right position and putting yourself in that position. Like
ready,
last night's goal was the perfect example where he like read that whole play. He like went wide, and who made the pass? It was like a perfect pass. Eichel, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Eichel saw it. It was like a perfect area pass, and like that's what coach is saying. Like some players just have that like in them. Like I got to get to that spot. It just clicks, And some players have it, some players don't. And he's a goal scorer. He knows where he needs to be on the ice. He knows where to shoot the puck. Where Binnington's gonna make the mistake. It's just those small like intangible things like that is the difference makers. But a small player that doesn't that stands out. What?
I said the Rangers could have used him in Florida. I'll tell you that.
No, yeah.
I mean, if you watch that goal, the analyst said immediately, "Oh, Binnington made a mistake." But I think Gensel looked up and he saw him. That's that hole. He looked up and he shot it right there. I don't think he fanned on it. I thought he made it.
There was definitely a scouting report for a low 5-hole like on the ice with Binnington because the U.S. was shooting everything on the ice.
Yeah, I think he shot it there intentionally.
Absolutely, I agree.
You can look at Larkin's goal. It was low, down low, on the week. That went far side, I think, right? Or short side.
Every puck like in his feet, it looks like he's scrambling. He just doesn't look confident. He looks very shaky in that Bennington to me. He just obviously, I think he hears the outside noise. He's almost like saying thank God every save that he makes. You know,
You got beat.
Getting the start Thursday night.
I hope he does.
Well, Cooper pumped his tires.
Safe, but Coop's gonna
Cooper
pump
was pumping his tires on TSN, so
yeah, he played
it's
today.
likely
I'd be
he'll get the
stunned if he
start.
didn't play Thursday. There's no
I
way.
mean, he only let up 2 goals. It's not like they got blown out 5-2 or something. He let up 2 goals.
Yeah, he just looks shaky though. With a better goalie, I think Canada is unstoppable.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
But it's just the
Why
beat.
would Fleury make the team out of respect to be like the third stringer at least? And honestly, I put Fleury in that over Binnington.
I put him over Aiden Hill.
You know, like why isn't Marc-Andre Fleury on the team?
Well, frankly, and this is going to trigger Cousin Ed, but frankly, Logan Thompson should be on the team. He should be.
He definitely should be, though, based on this season. I mean, yeah.
Well, if you want to go by analytics.
No, he should be this season. Definitely.
Well, if we go by analytics, Mangiapane would have been on Team Canada, 2 years ago when he came out of the gate with like 20 goals. So,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's just that it's not the end all be all. But
it
just helps you affirm what you're seeing or what you're not seeing. That's all.
It's just a
tool.
tool.
Hot goal, yeah.
Brock Nelson just like laid out. Who's Sweden's goalie right now?
Ersson, same from the Flyers.
Yeah,
just pushed them over.
Yeah, he just popped him.
So what do you guys think before we'll end by talking about our predictions for the final, but just generally I wanted to talk about
we didn't talk about Jack Hughes yet.
Oh, okay.
That's going to go on for 20 more minutes.
Gotta talk about Jack Hughes, little Ed. Go ahead, talk about Jack Hughes.
To me, it looks like they just took the best player from the World Junior Tournament and gave him a chance to play on this team. He just looks like he's like the fastest, most skilled guy out there, just buzzing in around, and no one has any idea what he's going to do with the puck. He just throws it to like open ice. Matthews is like on the opposite side of the ice, and like I don't know, he just looks lost out there to me. Anyone else seeing that?
I thought Matthews
100%.
had some decent chemistry. Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad, but
I don't know. I think you put Matthews on a different line. He's dominating.
I think Hughes was horrendous generally. And I loved watching him get dummied a few times for sure. Yeah, I did like that. I don't know about that. Like, yeah, I agree with you. He's small and fast, but he's like that super skilled kid who like has no idea how to play hockey. That just like dominates like the eye test of, in like high school hockey or something.
It's like you're going down to play pickup hockey, and there's one kid on the ice that just
buzzes around.
He's just trying way too hard, and no one else can keep up with him, and he's just throwing the puck around.
Yeah.
I saw him not being relevant at all.
Yeah, he wasn't a factor.
Game 7, physical game, he's lost out there. Again, that's how I'm basing it.
Another one of those players, man. It's another one of those players just not going to change the game. Put up 100 points in the regular season, all he wants. He's not going to be a game changer.
He didn't even get hit like McDavid got hit. If he gets hit like that.
He did, actually. He got hit pretty good.
Yeah, he got bumped. Yeah,
and he's fragile, too. I mean, he's hurt his shoulder a ton just by getting hit. He's just not really thick at all.
I mean, the thing with him, I'll say this. If I'm going to say something positive, he seems to have the will. He does seem to have that. Like, he's got, like, that fire in his eyes. He's got the edge, the cockiness. He just doesn't have the physical ability to really do it, I think. So
I see it as he feels that he should be like.
Wait a minute. Jack
he like deserves it. He doesn't have to work
Jackie's
for it.
He's interviewing Sullivan right now. We have to have a program alert.
Coach, compare it to the Coach Ed interview. I don't know. To me, Jack, it's like
he wouldn't be able to speak if she came up to me.
What do you mean? You've met her several times already.
You guys had her on, right?
Yeah, we had her on. Coach, unreal.
Sorry. Go ahead about
you're like a 12-year-old. Like it's like having a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old's body in the podcast. It's ridiculous. Little Ed's got to go to sleep soon, guys. So Mikey P, Jack Hughes reaction, and then we move on.
I thought he was soft. I thought he was the only player in the U.S.-Canada game that looked lost and had a terrible game. I agree. He doesn't have the physical side of the game. He wasn't really impactful. He didn't do anything for me. I wasn't very impressed at all.
All right. Well,
there was just at least 2 or 3 times. I mean, like on a serious note, where like I said, he would get the puck on like a regroup or whatever, and he would like circle down low and then just like pass it, or like someone would pressure him, and he would just like pass it across to like nobody.
I think he was
like
intimidated
2 or 3 times
with the physicality. 100%. I could, definitely.
How about Team USA putting Kreider in front of the net on the power play?
He almost had a great screen
Oh,
there.
he almost got one.
Guy's got 4 assists on the season. All right. Anyway, so confidence boost for these players. I mean, the Rangers had 6 guys in the tournament. You know, they're in a playoff push here. Is this tournament like a preview of playoff hockey for them? It gives them an edge. It gives them a little bit of a mindset of what they need to do to get in the playoffs that can help them down the stretch run? Or is this just like a fun thing that is going to be gone come Saturday against Buffalo, that they're just back to business and this is out of sight, out of mind? You know, what do you think, Coach?
I think if anything, it's going to do a lot for Trocheck and Miller. They're buddies already, and if they finish this tournament off on a positive note, that's definitely going to bring energy into the locker room from the two of them. And I think that will be I'm not saying they're going to win the Stanley Cup because of that, but I think it's going to give them a better attitude going into the playoff run, the push to get to the playoffs, I should say.
Yeah. PJ, what do you think?
I mean, it can't hurt. I mean, these guys are playing playoff level intensity right now, so don't have to flip the switch. This will be interesting with all these other guys off for 2 weeks. At least the Rangers having 6 guys in this tournament practically can jump right in on Saturday and Sunday and not be rusty, because they need all the points they can get.
Oh, they do. They cannot lose that game against Buffalo, because I will not make it. I won't make it to Sunday if they don't.
Me and you both.
Let me just say this: if they lose to Buffalo, just create a separate. Just go with PJ and talk. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
we do that. We save you guys from that.
Yeah, I have really ostracized my family. Like, guys, this podcast is me and my family, and I feel like they don't want to hear from me because I'm constantly pissed off.
And you could blame the Rangers. You could blame the Rangers for that.
Yeah.
What do I think in terms of what?
Is this going to give these guys a confidence boost, or is it going to propel them into the playoffs?
I think it's going to propel the players. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like the players that play this style of hockey, it's going to give them a jump start to continue. It's like almost like playing like in a groove, like you just like you have fun playing a certain way and you just continue to play that way.
They're building momentum.
Miller and Trocheck, they're going to continue to play that hungry style hockey. Players like Fox, like these tournaments, like he's just more like a calm player, so like he might play a little bit more like crisp, but it's not as noticeable. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Like think about it like this. Think about
it like Mika, like sitting out this game, like it's not gonna, like he's not playing another game after this, right? Or just Sweden having like a consolation game.
No,
this is
done.
it. Yeah. So like his momentum shot. Like there's no like,
but also
like I'm not trying to chirp him or anything, but like he's just whatever momentum he built up. Now that he's sitting out this game, it's not going to carry over. Like everyone's.
But I think it also for Mika, it also hurts if things hold in this game. He plays 2 games for Sweden, they lose both of them, and then he sits and they beat Team USA. Like that can't be much of a confidence booster for Mika.
Well, I'm going to push back there. I'm just going to say all the guys playing this tournament. Mikey, I didn't go to you yet, so I'll go to you next. But I feel like this is such a high level of hockey that it's just a reminder early. Usually you get this like game 1 of the playoffs or something, or down the stretch, like last 5-10 games. This is a reminder to like an Adam Fox. Like, this is what I need to be able to play against in order to, go deep. It's just a reminder with 27 games left. That could be a benefit. It could propel a guy like Fox or Mika to really step it up down the stretch a little sooner. I don't know. Just a thought.
It isn't a
I
bad.
say they
It
got-
isn't. Excuse me, Mike. It isn't a bad analysis based on the fact that the usual All-Star break is just a joke. It's just a relaxed atmosphere and the whole level of competition. It just brings them down. So I agree
Also,
with you
think
on
of the
that.
Russians, like Igor and Panarin watching this. You think they're not pissed that they're not playing? I mean, that's got to be a little interesting.
always
Maybe
thinking of
both
the
could use
Well,
the break.
I think you got to take it a step further and look at where the Rangers are in the standings. And instead of saying they got to take this and play like this down the stretch, they need to take this and play like this now. Because, I mean, if they don't, Rangers aren't making the playoffs. So they're not even going to get the opportunity to play like that down the stretch.
Right.
And, I mean, like, given where they're at in the standings, and then you got Ottawa and Boston and, you know, even teams like Montreal and, you know, Buffalo even are still in the mix. Like, they have to play like that for the last 27 games of the year. So,
Yeah.
Mike, if USA wins Thursday night, are they going to destroy the city of Boston?
no.
They might
Definitely
destroy. They might destroy the city of Newfoundland, though.
Will they boo Marchand?
Oh God, there's so many things wrong with that. I'm not even going to touch that one.
The province.
Boston sports fans have just got so fat and lazy with winning. We don't burn down the city anymore. We're just so
Wait,
used to winning.
It's a province, right?
Yeah, it's a province. Yes, province. Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, you were close.
I don't know my Canadian
St. John's
geography
is the
so
city.
well, Mikey. Sorry about that.
Fox almost.
Sorry, I've only been a part of this podcast for what, 3 years, 4 years?
Well, I just found out recently that you have your own time zone. So now you know.
I'm still blown away that you didn't know that.
We've talked about
like on the show.
I remember him saying it.
Yeah, and we always have to schedule him
like
according to
75%
time.
of what's said. You know that. I'm doing so many things. I'm looking at the next topic. I'm trying to keep the show on track. So I can't listen to every word you guys say. Anyway.
Keyword on track.
Guys, I'm watching this
team player.
I'm watching this game right now a little bit. If anybody says that a goaltender in hockey isn't the best athlete in the world, I don't know what to say, because
as a former goalie, I can confirm.
This is insane. What these
PJ
guys
is spitting proof of that athleticism.
You should see my washboard abs, coach.
We'll see
Maybe
the next
Fox
outdoor
should-
game.
maybe Fox should be a goalie.
Yeah, you better suit up for our outdoor game then.
Yeah, you got to come to the.
I haven't
gotta
played
try
since
him
I was
out first.
21, but I'd love to. I still have my old
yeah,
beer.
get PJ to the outdoor game, man.
We got to try him out first.
Trocheck just missed to tie the game from Fox.
I know that would have been so fitting after the end of the episode. I wanted him to score during that whole debate. It would have been so rich.
If
I hope Fox gets the goal with the goalie pulled.
Fox would only score in an empty net, little Ed. You're right. So,
But hey,
anyway.
here's a good callback.
Oh,
to this.
Troche.
Fox has 5 or actually almost 6 goals less than expected. He should have 6 more goals essentially this season with the chances he's getting. He's
All
really
right.
shooting low percentage compared to his
But he doesn't.
But coach would say,
right, we need some luck, right?
show me
Coach?
the money.
Luck.
You make your own puck luck.
It's a results-based league, PJ. I agree with you. I'm just teasing.
6 in the league in points. What more do you want?
I love how Little Ed's just got a baseball getting ready for the Mets
want
because
first.
the Rangers and Giants are just a disaster, and it's like he's just ready. Juan
waiting
Soto just
for-
showed up to pitchers and catchers the other day.
I'm not a Mets fan,
Waiting for Lindor to be named captain. That's all I'm waiting for.
All right, let's go to the. Well, actually, I wanted to just shout out Old Country Tile real quick, one of our sponsors, and talk about the milestone moment. Sidney Crosby, 26 straight wins for Team Canada until USA knocked him off there. So milestone there, his first loss for Team Canada. I'm not chirping Team Canada or Canadians or any. I'm just saying he went
Sounds
26
like you
and 0,
are, Ed. Sorry.
and then Team USA beat him. So anyway.
I guess
Shout
we'll
out to
never
Old
get
Country
Sidney
Tile.
Crosby on the podcast.
All right,
He shaved his mustache because he lost, so he wanted to change up the mojo.
let's wrap this up. Let's go to the upcoming schedule. Sponsored by Sorrento's of Long Beach. We got the championship game, USA versus Canada.
I made this
Thursday,
before the announcement or before the results.
Thursday at 8 p.m. I'll be at some event for food and wine or whatever the hell it's called in Miami, some fancy thing I gotta go to. So Do not text me during the game. I'm going to watch it after.
Wait,
but
is
anyway.
this for work? Wait, is this for work?
No. It's not. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this outside of the context of me doing something like that. Let's talk about who's going to win this game and what's going to be the score. PJ, keep track. We get a win for a correct winner of the game and a win.
We get 3 points per win in regulation.
Yeah. I don't know. Should we just pick the score? You don't get a win for that, but pick what score you think it's going to be. You get a win for the
damn game.
winner of the game. Coach, we're going down the line. You're at the top of the screen, so you go first.
I'm picking USA. What is the second? What is the second pick?
The score of the game.
I'm going to go. This is going to be a little bit more scoring. I'm going to go 5-4 USA.
Wow.
I got USA 3-2 in overtime. Mikey P, what do you got?
Canada 4-3 overtime. Marshawn was the winner.
Who gets it?
Marshawn.
That's a good script.
It's such a loser.
That happens. He's got to get
He's
extra bonus points.
just such a loser. Marshawn with the winner. Okay.
Hey, Marshawn's got one more Stanley Cup than all of us. So.
PJ.
Oh, I hate to do this. I'm hoping I reverse jinx, but I have a bad feeling Canada's going to win.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 4-2 with an empty net.
Ooh. Little Ed.
I was gonna say 4-2 with an empty net, but USA is gonna win. The goaltending, I think Bennington just looks shaky. They got to pour in some shots, and I think they'll take care of business.
You worried they put Aiden Hill in?
And I should say, Little Ed is hedging because he, in his pre-tournament prediction, he picked Canada over the U.S.
That's true.
Oh,
what did we all pick? What did we all pick, by the way?
Coach Ed had U.S. over Canada, so he's coach. If U.S. wins, you get 2 points. Me and cousin Ed had U.S. over Sweden, so we both lose a point because of Sweden. So I'm actually hedging too. Little Ed, U.S. I mean Canada over U.S.
Yeah, I got to stick with U.S. after I saw that performance. I mean, I guess it's a question mark if the Tkachuk brothers are out. You got to go with Canada, but
there's absolutely no way Matthew Tkachuk isn't playing.
If the Tkachuks don't play,
try.
I think Canada wins the game. I think that is how impactful they are.
Yeah, well, that changes the whole dynamic for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But assuming they play, I got US 3-2 in overtime.
Yeah.
And since Mikey P picked the OT winner, I'll pick mine. OT winner, I'll say Zach Werenski.
Oh, I wanted you to say Fox so bad.
Fox
Juicy.
won't even sniff the ice in overtime. Otherwise,
I'm going to say JT Miller gets the empty netter.
You said it was 5-4.
I said 5-4 though. Yeah.
What empty netter? 4-4. Canada pulls the goalie and
Imagine if there's a goalie goal for the empty netter. The roof would just explode.
It would just be brutal for Canada to get Cale Makar back and the USA to lose both Tkachuk brothers. Like, that can't happen. So
wait a minute. Going by the point system, if it goes to OT and the US loses an OT, does the point system say who the winner of the tournament is? Or
that's not how it works.
Point system was just for the round robin.
To get to the finals, okay.
Right. All right, Coach.
It would be so lame.
So, Coach I'm still a little unclear. He's got 5-4 USA. I got 3-2 USA. Mikey's got Canada in overtime. Little Ed's got USA over Canada, so he has hedged. Good, smart betting. And PJ's got Canada over USA.
I'll say Fox gets the game winner power play goal for the 5th goal.
Gross.
Gross. Good night, guys.
Good night.
And on that note,
love you guys. Have a good night, boys.
I don't even know what to do with myself at the time of the show.
Go US, and hey, Rangers are back Saturday and Sunday. We're back to the stress.
Fox for McAvoy. You heard it here first.
All right, we'll be back next week. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thanks, guys, for joining. Good episode. Love you guys.
Love you guys,
boys.
Good night, boys.